Hi, I'm Christine Marino.
Hi, I'm Bethany Cronlund.
And we are working with Cameron Fields to present the Dow 30 Corporation Microsoft.
An overview of the company. Microsoft was founded in 1975 by Bill Gates and Paul Allen. Bill Gates and Paul Allen were lifelong friends from Seattle, Washington, and they attended Lakeside High School. Together, they learned how to code while attending the same high school. Their first ever business was called Trafta Data, which they started together. It originated from a summer job that Bill Gates had in which he had to measure traffic flow patterns, and every 15 minutes there was a machine that would create a pattern of holes and punch it onto a piece of paper tape that would read manually, and the results also had to be written down manually. The task, according to Gates and Allen, was unnecessarily tedious, and they felt that they could do something about it to make the task go a lot faster. So they created a business in order to make the task go by faster, and as their business started to grow, they began hiring younger students that attended the same high school as them in order to help out. The two friends kept their business going on for a while, and they expanded into other areas of Washington and also started to expand into some parts of Canada. In a short time, Gates and Allen were off to college. However, Allen dropped out after just 2 years of attending Washington State University in order to pursue a career as a programmer. Paul Allen was the one who convinced Bill Gates to drop out of Harvard. And once he did so, and they both were not in college anymore, they moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico, in order to start off their company, which was Microsoft. Paul Allen was the one who also came up with the name for Microsoft, in which he merged the words microcomputer and software, and thus creating Microsoft. When their company blew up, the pair decided that they needed to move back to Washington, where they were from. Here they enjoyed several other luxuries that they didn't have in Albuquerque, and they were able to expand the number of buildings and house more employees. Since the company had started in 1975, Microsoft has expanded the different products and services that it provides. For instance, they started out making computers and software for their computers and have now moved into creating Xboxes and cell phones. The current CEO of the company is Satya Nadella, who took the job after the former CEO, Steve Ballmer, had stepped down. Bill Gates also had an active role in getting Nadella nominated and approved of the job. And Nadella was, when he first joined Microsoft in 1992, he joined as a young engineer.
Microsoft's mission statement is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. They also value respect, integrity, and accountability, and all of this is seen in their business model. So Microsoft fosters innovation, diversity and inclusion, artificial intelligence, corporate social responsibility, racial equity initiative, and trustworthy computing. And the three major focuses that expand throughout Microsoft's business model is productivity and business, and this is where they focus on making good products and good services. And then the next one is the cloud, which is an extension of Microsoft and their servers that they have. And lastly is customer service and satisfaction. Microsoft takes great pride in their customer service, and they want to create a personalized experience with each customer. Other aspects that are important to their company are their partners and customers in that relationship, as I said earlier, cost and revenue, creating new marketing and business strategies, and their services and software, which is at the core of the Microsoft Corporation. So here's a picture of the weekly stock prices over the past year, starting April 26, 2021 to April 25th, 2022. And MSFT is the stock symbol for Microsoft. And in the graph, you can see a definite trend where there's a significant increase in the beginning, and towards the end, there's a stabilized decline. And the starting stock price was $252.18, and the ending stock price was $289.63. We had an overall high on November 15th, 2021 at $343.11, and the overall low was May 17th, 2021 and the stock price was $245.17. On to more stock analysis. Why was there an increase in stock price? One of the reasons is due to COVID-19, which impacted all tech companies because there were so many people at home for school and for work, and they were really relying on software and technology to do those things. And why was there a decreased or leveled stock price? This had to do with two things. First being the ending of the pandemic and our return to normalcy, where people were going back to work, people were going back to school. There were also economic slowdowns, such as increased inflation, supply issues, foreign conflicts, increased competition between different corporations, and more. Lastly, we noticed that earnings per share have consistently exceeded estimated earnings per share, making Microsoft stock a safe, long-term stock with very low risk.
We'll be going over some of Microsoft's current activities, starting with their acquisitions. Since the beginning of this year, they have acquired Nuance Communications, which will help them enhance their company AI, and Activision Blizzard, their most prominent acquisition. At $95 a share in an all-cash deal, they bought Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion, making Microsoft the third largest gaming company based on revenue. They plan to use this company to help them develop their metaverse platforms. This company is known for their creations such as Overwatch and Candy Crush, and their famous franchise, the Call of Duty franchise. They have also focused heavily on cybersecurity and acquired the Minute Company, which is a process mining company that will allow Microsoft users to get immediate notifications about software updates. In addition, they have expanded their cybersecurity training to 23 more countries, with the goal of filling the cybersecurity demand, since 1 in every 3 cybersecurity jobs goes unfilled. In addition, they hope to create job opportunities that reach minority populations. They have also collaborated with the Ukrainian government and provided $35 million in aid to identify and fix what's known as Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures, or CVEs. They have increased cybersecurity for the Ukrainian government and helped them protect against cybersecurity attacks. Also found some interesting cybersecurity memes that I'd like to discuss. Starting on the left, one man saying, "All I know is the boss said we had to monitor the cloud," and they're looking outside at a cloud. Next, in the middle, we have someone that ordered a very complicated Starbucks order with a very complicated name. And they said, "I always encrypt my name in public places just to be safe." And finally, these are two software designers that are talking, and one says, "I'm sure there are better ways to disguise sensitive information, but we don't have a big budget." Thank you. Next, we'll be talking about how Microsoft has been affected by the pandemic. And this is funny because the pandemic is a virus, and the picture is of a computer virus. Thank you, Bethany. Their initial reaction was very interesting because at the beginning of 2020, they were actually in the middle of a research project called Work Initiative, which was analyzing the consequences of a completely digitized workforce. This was perfect because when the pandemic hit, they were months ahead of every other company and organization in terms of going online. This freed up time for them to partner with the Washington Department of State of Health and allowed them to code a case counting platform, which actually is why their stocks increased over the pandemic. But they were facing struggles just like everybody else and were very open about how their employees were facing mental health difficulties, and they were attempting to be very accommodating. However, it did decrease their innovation and the amount of ideas they had for new platforms and research projects. In addition, they have funded many programs over the pandemic, including vaccination pop-ups. They have donated to COVID relief in other countries such as India, and they have even coded a program that will help screen for symptoms in the workplace. Then I have a joke. So, what's a hacker's favorite Pixar movie, Bethany?
What?
That would be A Bug's Life.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
That's a real knee slapper.
And here's just some additional information about Microsoft. So, starting with their future plans, later this year they plan to launch Release Wave 1, which is updates for the Dynamics 365 platform and their Power Platform. In addition, they plan to launch their metaverse platforms, which will utilize their Activision Blizzard acquisition and will enable Zooms with avatars. As you can see in the photo, some of those people are just avatars while others are real humans. Finally, we'll talk about inclusivity. Microsoft prides itself on being a very inclusive company, and they provide unique opportunities for minority groups, such as military members or those with disabilities. In addition, they have organizations that offer a safe community, scholarships, and even job training, such as Blacks at Microsoft, also known as BAM, and the Global LGBTQIA+ Employees and Allies at Microsoft organization, also known as GLEAM.